Hi, I'm Natalie Jill, fat loss expert turned lifestyle and high performance coach. When odds are stacked against us, how do we shift and create everything from nothing? How do we level up when we aren't feeling it yet or have had a big setback? And how do we adjust quickly when life throws us major curveballs? On this podcast, I do what I do best, taking complicated information that is relevant to us now and breaking it down simply with actionable steps you can implement to level up your own life. I also regularly interview some of the most inspiring and courageous men and women on the planet who, at their worst, learned how to achieve success greater than they ever dreamed possible, leveling up, creating everything from nothing. If you are new here, I encourage you to go back and listen from episode 1 for the full transformative experience. Hey, happy 2021. Today's topic is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to dive into fat loss as we age. And why that's different is because if you have been an avid listener of Leveling Up for quite some time, you know that typically my episodes here are interviews with others. They are about how other people created everything from nothing, leveling up their lives from massive setback, failure, and humble beginnings to great achievements and results. I won't stop doing that, but I've had a lot of requests lately for me to do some solo episodes on my expertise, which happens to be helping people build their bodies and their brands. And being the new year, I know many of you are interested in the health, fitness, nutrition, and fat loss space, so I am going to share my thoughts on that today. For those of you that don't know that you've only met me here from my podcast, my presence on social media and most of the web is in the fat loss and nutrition space. I started out in nutrition, moved over to fitness. Podcast has had nothing to do with that expertise. So today I'm going to go back to that with you because I do kill fat for a living and on most of my platforms. And I'm very good at that. And I've helped hundreds of thousands of people do just that. And being 49 myself, so in that aging population, and being someone who's had a lot of injuries that I've overcome, I've got a lot to share on this topic. So that's what we're going to be diving into today. So if you are not driving, I highly suggest that you grab a notepad and a pen because I'm going to give you 7 things that you can start implementing right away that are very, very simple, that takes away that whole information overload. And this is going to be good for you. Are we ready? Are we ready? By the way, if this topic, if you like this and you want more about this, after you listen, of course, and if you have very specific questions on this, the best way to reach me, FYI, is to go to my Instagram, Natalie Jill Fit. Follow me there, message me there. That is one place that I do personally, right now, I'll check messages, believe it or not. I check all DMs on Instagram all the time. It's me personally, not an assistant. I can't say the same about going through my website or my Facebook or other platforms, but on Instagram, I do personally see all my DMs. So make sure you message me there if you got questions. All right, we're going to get started. Okay, 7 steps to simplifying fat loss for 2021. Let's go. Number one, make a decision. What? Yes, as simple as that. Make a decision. You see, a decision is not saying things like nothing works for me, or I've tried everything, or I've got problems with my hormones or my metabolism or my injury or my genetic history. That's not a decision. A decision is, this is the year that I am finding lasting fat loss. This is the year that things are going to work for me. This is the year I'm going to get curious. This is the year it's happening for me. Make a decision. I can't tell you how many times people come to me and say things like, I've tried everything, but, or nothing works for me, but. That is not a decision. A decision is, this is happening for me. We attract what we put out there and words become things. So decide this is happening for you this year. So I want you to say it out loud. If you're not scared of what everyone else is thinking or you're by yourself, I decide, and stop your head from going to the but or the reasons why that's not possible. I decide this is the year. Now you can apply this in all other areas for income, for business, for all the things, but I want you to apply it for your health, your fitness, your fat loss right now. I decide. Deciding comes first. That's step number 1. Step number 2, vision. What is your vision for yourself? You see, the more we focus on what we don't want in our bodies, what we don't love, the more we keep focusing on that. It's true. It's not woo-woo. It's very true. It's not woo-woo because I'm not saying just have a vision and it just happens. I'm saying get clear on what you want and start looking for habits and actions to help you get there, right? So many times I have somebody say to me, gosh, I just don't want this. I don't like this about my body. I hate this about my body. But very seldom do I hear, my vision for myself is this. My vision for myself is no pain. My vision for myself is flexibility. My vision for myself is being lean and healthy. My vision for myself is mastering fat loss. My vision for myself is having a metabolism that works around the clock. My vision for myself is getting my confidence back. That's a vision. So if you don't know what you want, you're not going to get there. Now, story time. I used to train clients one-on-one years ago. And countless times I'd have a client come to me and say, Natalie, this is what I want. And they would describe, I want to be fit. I want the tiny waist. I want the nice booty. I want to look like this. I want to be able to wear cute workout clothes. I want a six-pack. They would describe what they wanted. However, in that same breath, they would feel why they couldn't get it. Okay. Then what would happen inevitably, and this happened many times, I'd be training them. Somebody else would walk into the gym looking exactly like what they wanted, tan and thin or whatever it is that they thought they wanted in their cute little workout outfit. And my client would look at them and roll their eyes and say things to me like, ugh, she looks fake, or ugh, and tear that person apart. To me, that shows you're not living in your vision, because the right reaction to somebody who has what you think you want is, wow, that's amazing. I want to get really curious on how did they create that? What are they doing? What are they listening to? What are they eating? I want to know more. But when your mind goes to why they're cheating the system or why they're fake or why it won't work for you, you are pushing that idea away. You are not going to accomplish your goal when you look at things through that lens. A vision for yourself means you're also very, very curious about what you want. And you start attracting that. Okay, step three, driving core motivator. Now, I'm not going to go crazy deep on this right now because I know this can confuse you, but I want to touch the surface on it. A driving core motivator is the real reason you want something. You see, it's not willpower that keeps us going. It's not having more self-discipline. What it is being really clear on why you want something, because when you are crystal clear on that, you tend to stay motivated to go after it. An example on how you get that is going 10 levels deep. So, for example, I want to be thinner. Okay, ask yourself why. Why do you want to be thinner? Well, I want to have my confidence. Why do you want your confidence? Well, if I feel more confident, I'll show up harder and stronger for other areas of my life. Okay, and why do you want that? What would that mean for you? Well, if I did that, I would be happier because I would feel more connected. Aha, and why do you want that? Well, because I felt lonely because I tend to stay away from people because I don't feel good about myself. Aha, we're getting somewhere. Okay, so go deep. Go 10 levels deep on your why. That is your driving core motivator. When you are there, you can truly start to focus on what you want more of. Number 4, kill the fat. What does that mean? Not just the fat on our bodies, but kill what I call false assumed truths. But what does that mean, Natalie? A false assumed truth is a limiting belief that you've been holding that is not factual, meaning things like, I'm too old, it's too late, my metabolism won't let me, my injury won't let me, my doctor said, my family history is this. Why are those false assumed truths, you ask? Well, they might be real things, but the meaning you put to it is not necessarily real. The meaning you put to that is something that is not a fact. Just because your doctor told you something, or your family history is, or something is in your gap right now that you seem to be stuck on, doesn't make it fact. So recognize those things first so you can start to shift them. Because if you don't recognize those things first, they will keep popping up in the back of your mind. And you'll think, well, why should I go for this? I have this thing that stops me. So kill those false assumed truths. All right, those were 4 things first that go into the mindset. Now, many times you hear fitness experts or nutrition people say, fix your mindset, get your mind right. But they don't really explain that. So those 4 things are scratching the surface on what I teach with clients on getting their mind right. Because the most important thing when it comes to fat loss or transformation is focusing on those things first. Now, I go way deeper on those things in my programs like my Total Body Thrive, but I wanted to give you those things to start working on right now. Okay, that was 4. Number 5, I promised you 7. Number 5, unprocess your diet. What does that mean? What that means is focus on how can I add in more good, natural, real, wholesome foods that came from the earth so I make less room for the bad. So what is a natural unprocessed food? Those are things in its original state like vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, oils, lean proteins. Natural state, things that don't come from a box, a can even, that don't come in a bag, that aren't processed with ingredients you can't pronounce. Focus on adding in more natural unprocessed food. You see, many of us, when we think of diet or change or fixing our nutrition, we go right to what we shouldn't have. Like, I shouldn't have sugar, I shouldn't have carbs, I shouldn't have this, I shouldn't eat after 6. And I'm going to say forget all that right now and instead focus on what can you add in? What is some of the good you can add in so you make less room for the bad? Unprocess your diet. All right. Number 6, we're almost there. I promised you 7. Number 6. Focus on addition versus subtraction. I just touched on that with unprocessed your diet, but focus on adding in more of the good. Get your brain away from what do I have to take out. If you eat, for instance, you're craving donuts, by the way. Let's imagine that. You're craving donuts. But instead of grabbing the donuts, you decide, I'm going to eat a huge salad first. I'm going to drink a lot of water. I'm going to have a piece of fruit. And if I still want the donuts, I'll eat them. You fill up first on those nutritious foods, and I guarantee you eat less donuts after. So focus on addition, not subtraction. It's so much easier, by the way, to focus on addition. It's so much easier. Yes. And it feels like you're accomplishing something. Focus on addition, not subtraction. Okay, number 7, move your body. You don't need to go into extreme exercise overkill. You don't need to go be crazy intense. Just start moving. Move your body. If you are injured and can't do something, find a workaround. Find a workaround. For instance, when I was recovering from back surgery, I couldn't do any exercises, but I could walk, so I walked. When I broke my arm, couldn't do upper body, so I did legs. When I broke my foot, opposite, did upper body. So yeah, and I'm injury queen. I happen to have a lot of them in the last year. But find those workarounds and move your body. You'll always feel better moving. Same rule with the movement as I talked about in nutrition. Think addition. What are easy things I can add in? Walking, doing a few exercises. 5 minutes is better than none, by the way. For example, for people who think you need all these long, crazy workouts, and I'm not going to tell you to do this, but for example, let's say the only exercise you decided to do was a plank. I guarantee you held a plank every day for 5 minutes or work towards it, you're going to change your body for 5 minutes. So it is true. A little time can change your body, but make sure you're focusing on things that actually make a difference, like a plank or a push-up. But move your body. Move your body. All right, that was 7 tips right there. Just to recap quickly, decide. Get focused on your vision. Figure out your driving core motivator. Recognize your false assumed truths. Then start to unprocess your diet. Think addition versus subtraction and start moving your body. Now, these were simple tips. I could go a lot deeper with you, but I wanted to start with this. And I hope this was helpful for you. Now, if you want more, if you want to go way deeper on this, I am starting coming up soon, January 18th it starts. So I don't know when you're listening to this episode. Come join me in Total Body Thrive. I've got 200 spots total. It is filling up, but we go deeper. It's live coaching with me, plus an entire academy and downloads and meal plans and help with your workouts, help with all of it. And I really go deep. It is results guaranteed. Failure is not an option. You can find out more about this at totalbodythrive.com. Would love to work with you. TotalBodyThrive.com. If you are listening to this episode later down the road after, then there'll be a wait list if it's closed, and you'll get notified the next time we have it. You can also find out all kinds more nutrition and fat loss information from me on my social media, Natalie Jill Fit, everywhere on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, all the places, and Natalie Jill Fitness on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, any questions, messages, send them to me on my Instagram. I do check all DMs there, and I wish you such a happy 2021. Let's make this your best health year yet. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen in as my guest today. If you found this episode valuable, please share it with friends and on social media. I don't advertise this show, so I rely on word of mouth and reviews to get it out in the world. The biggest thank you that you can give me is leaving me a review, and a nice one, I hope, by the way. This is how others find these episodes. If you do leave me a review, be sure to message me at support@nataliejillfitness.com with a screenshot of your review, because I would love to send you a free digital download of my DSR journal as a thank you. And please don't forget to connect with me on social media at Natalie Jill Fit on Instagram and Facebook.